Okay, brace yourself. It's gonna get noisy. It's the bird parade. Oh, straggler. So, the geese's feathers are starting to come back in after molting, after breeding season, so that's exciting. We still have plenty of tree damage to clean up, but we have been making progress, slow but sure. Problem is, we've continued to get more rain, wind, overcast, and honestly, today, I didn't even bring the dogs down to the barn today. I had no intention of doing videos. I was just going to do a quick morning chore. But it's the first day that the humidity isn't like 85+%, and it's sunny. It's not overcast. It's incredible the difference a little bit of sunshine will make. You may have noticed that the pond looks a little bit darker than normal. It's actually quite blue. And we do this every year at this time of the year. It's a UV dye. And let's see, you can kind of see the color here. It is a UV dye. It is intended to keep the algae down, right? So algae growth, it booms at this time of the year because of all the daylight and all of the sunshine, right? So what this does is it sort of prevents that sunshine and the UV rays from getting down into the water and keeps growth to a minimum. Does it eliminate algae? Of course not. Does it eliminate plant growth? Of course not. Do I want to eliminate that stuff? No. It does look very funny because it's blue. And it's literally just a dye, right? Like it's almost like putting a cover on the pond. The birds picking their way through this branch are hilarious. The turkey want to follow me, of course, along with their guinea friend, but they're having a hard time getting through. What you will notice, though, is that despite the fact that this is a dye for water, none of my white birds, oh, there's a frog right under me somewhere. None of my white birds have a single spot of blue on them. It is not a dye that gets on the animals. It is not a dye that hurts anything. It is completely normal to use in ponds. And again, we use it every year. And it really does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is keep a bit of a balance, right? If we didn't do this, eventually the pond, are you having a little drinky poo? Eventually the pond would be full of plant life and not water. And while, you know, some plant life is good, if it were choked out, right? If the whole pond is full of plants, then it defeats the purpose of having a pond. So again, it's sort of a balance between what we want the pond to be, which is a pond, and the way nature works, which is there's a water source, things should grow. So that is the balance. The animals love it. You can see very clearly they don't get dyed. They don't get hurt by it. They can drink it. There's nothing wrong with it. I would liken it in terms of danger to food coloring, except that food coloring would turn them, you know, a different color, right? So it really is super safe, intended for pond use, safe for fish, safe for wildlife, safe for tadpoles and frogs, and you heard the frog. So no big deal in terms of using it, but it does change the color of the pond, and it makes the pond blue. At least for a few days. It doesn't stay super bright blue, especially if we get some rain. I'm just doing the standard walk around for eggs. I've been finding them here almost every morning now. And there's one right there. It's only one instead of multiples because I've been pretty good about picking it up. Woo, that one's light. That one might be empty. And that happens from time to time too. Birds' reproductive systems just like human reproductive systems sometimes need a little reset. So sometimes you'll get what we call a fairy egg, which is a little teeny tiny egg. Sometimes you'll get one of these, which is really light, so it's probably missing its yolk and might just have the albumin, the white in it. Not a big deal. I'm not hatching at the moment. And if I were to hatch, I mean, I would probably set this anyway just for fun, just in case. I mean, I've set fairy eggs before, and fairy eggs are usually little teeny tiny eggs that have absolutely nothing in them. Buddy, you need to grow some feathers back. They're coming. You can see his wings are coming back. Those sticks there, sticking out of his wings, are feathers that are in their sheath. That sheath will come off, and the feather will literally just kind of poof out from there. But yeah, he needs some feathers because he's pretty naked. It is molting season. There's feathers everywhere, which is fun. Every once in a while, I see a bird flying away with a feather, you know, wild bird, of course. Or I see the cats playing with the feathers. Of course, we used to, when they were kittens, we would take a whole bunch of turkey feathers in and use that as playtime. So they still, from time to time, will, use feathers to play, which is so cute. And they're older now, you know, they're 7, 8. Oh my gosh, I can't believe how old they're getting already. It means I'm getting old, which is a problem. So as far as eggs in the debris, interestingly enough, as the debris here has started to, I would call it, kind of decay and not become quite as enticing, right? They've picked through it. They're using it now for cover, but they're not laying eggs in it anymore. And so they've changed their usage of the debris. We've cleared out a lot of the debris, to be honest, because we don't need all of this mess. It's kind of making it difficult to get things done. The birds are still picking at it. They are still scratching at it. And I think the last thing, right, if you look over here, all those leaves, and there were piles and piles of leaves that were down, have been sort of shredded by the chickens. So they do a really good job of their own cleanup. It's just these big piles, these big brush piles that do need to go. And I think we're finally getting to a point that the weather is going to cooperate where we're not going to either melt or drown. So hopefully we'll get that cleaned up sooner rather than later. We still have this giant branch, of course, that's broken at the top that needs to come down. But believe it or not, there are still people without power. And, you know, we talk to the tree guys, they will come out, but we also told them very clearly that this is a non-emergency. It is to be taken care of, and we have a good relationship with our tree company. It's to be taken care of only after they are done getting everybody back up and running. So this can stay for a while. It might even stay for another couple of weeks. Perfectly fine. If we get another storm, it could be even longer. It's pretty stable. It doesn't really blow in the wind. It does have our fence still broken, but the fence is secure enough. It's, you know, instead of being 7 foot, it's closer to about 5.5 feet, which is still plenty. And it's only the one section. So we're really not too bad in the scheme of things, and eventually we'll get that branch down. And then my hope, because the rest of the sycamore actually looks, and yes, it is a sycamore. Thank you to the internet for telling me. I called it a maple because I don't know plants. But the rest of the sycamore actually looks pretty healthy. So I'm wondering, even though the top came down, if it will continue to grow and stay, you know, alive and healthy. And of course, we need the tree company to tell us that. So I'm hoping it doesn't have to come down all the way and that they can just take the top off and let it do its thing, it will probably have a giant split in it, right? Like it'll never grow straight up again, which isn't necessarily a bad thing because it does have a nice spread to it, which provides a ton of shade, and the birds love it. So I think that's the big update from our nice bright blue pond. And yeah, I need to go feed the barn. So until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.